2026 is just around the corner. If you clicked on this video thinking, okay, maybe this is the year I finally learned Korean, then you're definitely in the right place. Because if you set up just 2 or 3 things right now, your Korean level next year will feel completely different. Hi everyone, I'm Minji from Minji Teaches Korean, and today I want to share some super effective tips to help you start learning Korean the right way. So, is Korean actually easy? Before we get into anything else, let's talk about the biggest misconception first. You've probably heard people say Hangul, the Korean alphabet, is super easy. And yes, Hangul is beginner friendly. But the way you imagine easy and the way Korean is actually easy are two very different things. Here's what usually happens. First, once you learn Hangul and start reading, you think you are pronouncing things correctly, but your pronunciation is still a bit off. Second, even though you can read the letters, sometimes you suddenly don't understand what you just read. So what does that mean? If you understand just this one point, your Korean studying in 2026 will feel completely different. Let me show you what I mean with one simple word. Let's look at how Koreans pronounce English words. Okay, so please listen to this word I'm about to say. Sauce, sauce, sauce. Yes, I'm saying sauce. Let me show you how it looks like in Hangul, the Korean alphabet. Yes, this is how you write the word sauce. Now, if you listen again, sauce, even if you don't know Hangul fully yet, you can kind of guess this Korean consonant, 시옷, makes an s sound. Sauce. Sauce, because it's duplicate. Of course, in English, that s sound at the end is spelled with a C, but pronunciation-wise, it doesn't matter. But here's the key. Even if you can read Hangul and you see sauce, you still might not immediately think of sauce. Why? Because you're not yet familiar with how Koreans Koreanize English sounds. So if someone says, 소스 주세요, 소스. Your brain might freeze for a second and then you can go like, sauce, got it. See, it's totally normal. Here's another example, iced Americano. Let's say you walk into a cafe and want to order an iced Americano. But instead of saying it in English, you're thinking, wait, how do I say this in Korean? In Korean, it becomes iced Americano. 8 syllables. Iced Americano. So in English, it kind of flows together in 1 or 2 smooth chunks, right? Iced Americano. But in Korean, we break it into smaller, very clear pieces like iced Americano. So that's how we pronounce it. I mean, like, there's no super strict rule written somewhere. It's more like we take the sounds that already exist, attach a vowel to them, and turn each one into a separate syllable. So, for example, in ice, there's that s sound, right? Ice. So in Korean, it becomes ice. But we don't usually go as far as saying iced. And in Americano, the first sound in English is very weak. It's kind of just flows by, but in Korean, we turn it into a clear sound at the beginning. We say Americano, Americano. So does it feel a little awkward to say at first? Probably yes. But the good news is, once you understand this pattern, you can start using the English you already know to recognize Koreanized English words much faster. It's basically take each sound, attach the closest Korean vowel, and read it piece by piece. Now, here's another super common problem. Spelling. Yes, spelling. So you might already know how to pronounce English words like cake or caramel in Korean. You can say cake or caramel. No problem. Cake, caramel. But then suddenly you find yourself wondering, like, wait, should I write this with this vowel, a vowel, or this vowel, a vowel? Which vowel is actually correct? And yes, this will definitely happen. Because in modern Korean, e and e sound almost the same, and on the top of that, some loanwords are spelled with e while others use e. So it can feel totally random. So if you understand this from the very beginning instead of discovering it months later, trust me, your learning experience will be completely different. So please start efficiently from day one. Most Korean learners get stuck again when they move into the listening stage because Korean has sound contrasts that are tricky for English speakers. Just knowing the spelling doesn't automatically mean you will understand every sound. And like I mentioned earlier, loanwords and real-life pronunciation can sometimes differ from what's written. So sometimes what you studied doesn't sound like what you actually hear. That mismatch is completely normal, but if you are prepared for it from the beginning, it makes your studying so much smoother. And lastly, let's talk about something really important. Understanding the sounds that don't exist in Korean. Well, some of you watching this may have already tried learning Hangul, so let's try something together. Let's say you want to say coffee in Korean. You look for the F sound and then you realize, oh, Korean doesn't have the F sound. So what do Koreans do? We replace it and the word becomes copy, copy, copy. Yeah, this is how we write the word copy. So please look closely. K, the first consonant has the K sound, and in the second syllable, this consonant has the P sound. And just from this one word, you can learn Korean doesn't have an F, so it's replaced with a P sound, how these consonants, K and P actually sound, and how English loanwords get adapted into Korean. Sometimes understanding Korean pronunciation through words you already know is actually faster and easier than learning Hangul completely in isolation. Alright, before 2026 arrives, I want you to have this mindset. Korean culture and Hangul must be learned together. Why? Because Korean is a high-context language. People often imply things instead of saying them directly. The expression you can use change depending on the situation, age, relationship, closeness, mood, and so on. So even if you can read every word, your sentence might still be socially inappropriate just because you didn't know the cultural rule behind it. Imagine you spend hours learning Hangul. You can read it now, maybe you know a few phrases. Because you don't know the culture, you accidentally sound rude on your very first sentence. That kills motivation so fast. This is why I always emphasize, from the moment you learn Hangul, you should learn Korean culture with it. It lowers your psychological barrier so much. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take a look at the word Oppa together. You've probably heard this word somewhere, like K-pop, K-dramas, TikTok memes. Yep, you've seen the English spelling OPPA list. Even if you don't fully read Hangul yet, let's just get familiar with the shape of the letters first, okay? Oppa. And from the letters, you can already guess the first syllable, O, makes an O sound, like O, especially because of the vowel O. And if you look at the second syllable, this is a double consonant, so it's a strong PP sound, B, B. And the next vowel makes an A sound, okay? Oppa, Oppa. Now, most Hangul lessons teach the consonant in with words like E, number 2, or Agi, baby, which is totally fine, but why not also memorize it with the word Oppa? Because it's the word you already know. It appears everywhere in K-culture. It's even in the Oxford English Dictionary, and it sticks in your memory instantly. But more importantly, once you learn Oppa, you naturally transition into understanding Korean address terms. And when you learn what Oppa actually means, like a younger woman calling an older male she's close to, you begin to understand something very important. Unlike English, where you can just say you, Korean requires specific address terms based on relationships. I mean, like if someone is older, if it is a stranger, if it is a teacher, if it is your boss, then 오빠, 언니, 누나, 형, 선생님, 사장님, and even phrases like 저기요. These are depend on the relationship and the context. This is how a single Hangul word, oppa, can immediately open the door to understanding Korean cultural logic, right? So learning culture and Hangul together helps you quickly understand, like, this is how Korea works. Alright, so today we talked about the mindset you should have before 2026 comes and the key tips that will make your Korean learning so much easier, right? But you might be thinking, okay, Minji, I get it. But how am I supposed to learn all of this on my own? Well, that's exactly why I created a Hangul course that connects Hangul, culture, real sound patterns, how to react like a Korean, right from the very beginning. So if you invest just about 3 hours, you will be able to learn Hangul and the essential cultural logic together in a way that finally makes everything click. If you are curious or want to get started the right way, please check out my Hangul course. I would love to help you begin your 2026 Korean journey with confidence. Then I'll see you in the next video.